Bror Fredrik coming at you with another video. On today's video, I'm going to answer a question that I've gotten quite a few inquiries on over the past couple of weeks. And that is, hey, Bror Fredrik, what happened to the Help the Homeless program that you were running for the past couple of years? And we're going to drive up and down the strip, and I'll tell you, A, what the Help the Homeless program is and or was, according to some people, and just give you a rundown on the current state of it and the current state of actually helping the homeless here in Las Vegas, specifically on the Strip. So we're going to drive up and down the Strip, and we'll get into all that right after this. And we're back. There's so many new people on the channel as of late, welcome on board, that you might not know what Help the Homeless was. So for years, I was doing a program, and still am doing a program, called Help the Homeless, which was basically a grassroots effort to help homeless people here on the Las Vegas Strip and around the Las Vegas Strip as well. And I did that for quite a long time, still doing it, but we'll discuss that in a minute. With the help of one, YouTube revenue that I get from these videos, I was using it to help the homeless and still do, and also from people's generous contributions in goods and in, financial means and stuff like that. So that started just after the shutdown. I would go around the Strip, I'd pass things out, sometimes on a grand scale, sometimes on a one-to-one scale, and that was pretty awesome for several years, and I enjoyed doing it. It was, to one degree, it was kind of heartbreaking to see the amount of homeless people that were here on the Strip. And let me give you a little background on myself too. Now, prior to the shutdown, prior to moving back to Vegas, which was just before the shutdown, I didn't really pay attention to the amount of homeless people that were here on the Strip. In fact, I'll admit, quite the opposite. I would be like every other tourist and, try not to make eye contact. I was zooming in and out of valets, so I never really got to see it. I sort of ignored the problem. And quite honestly, when confronted by these people, hey, you got a buck, you got a cigarette, all this type of stuff, my first reaction back in the day was, hey, get a job. I was that guy. I am no longer that guy, thankfully. However, that's how I behaved, but I didn't understand a lot of the psychology, the mentality, and I was certainly not aware of the scope of the situation here. So I started this outreach program called Help the Homeless, as I just said, and I would go around with the help of YouTube revenue and some of my own, which is also YouTube revenue, and help from the audience, and I would bring goods that I felt homeless people would need. And some days were so highly emotional because I'd hear the stories, I'd sit down with them, and other days, we had our moments, we had our confrontations, we had our issues and things like that, but overall it was a great experience. So what prompted me to stop videoing them? And I think that's what people want to know when they send me emails. Hey, Bror Fredrik, what happened to Help the Homeless? Well, the videos themselves were not to bring attention to myself. Oh, look how good a guy I am. Oh, I'm giving stuff away. It was never, ever about that, even though I was accused of that. No, it was never about me. The reason why I did it was, one, to bring attention to the amount of homeless people here on the Strip and the scope of the problem here on the Strip. And number two, to show people who were sending socks and sending various items and things and, finances that their money was going to and their effort was going to help the homeless. So they would get the same sense of satisfaction and, just loving our fellow human beings as I was getting doing it. It was never about me. And I figured I would spearhead a movement, and maybe other YouTubers here in Las Vegas would do it as well. Unfortunately, they never really did. They were like, oh, I'm just assuming, oh, that's Bror Fredrik's thing or whatever. It's not my thing. Helping my fellow man is not a me thing. It's an everybody thing, Like Bob, what's his name? From Ebenezer Scrooge. It's, my job was to help humanity. You know what I'm talking about. It's an everyone thing, so everyone should have been freaking doing it. Wow, this road is not ready for F1. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about that today. So, what happened was, as time went on, specifically, we'll touch on F1 for a second. Right before F1 of last year, I don't know what department in the government did it, but they, for all intents and purposes, swept the streets of people who were either vagrant or homeless and gave them a choice and said, hey, it's jail or get the actual F off the strip. So what I had noticed was, I was even becoming, in the audience, was becoming friends with some of these, well, I don't know about friends, but we were familiar with a lot of these people. We knew who they were. We knew about their families, their situations. And some of it was shocking, some of it not so much. I don't want to get into the details of the hows and whys, but after that, the more rational, more stable, despite, their opportunities, both mentally and physically, they left. The people who were more conscious of what's going on, and I'm referring to the homeless, did indeed leave. What was left behind, or who was left behind, were people who were not quite as stable, mentally ill people and such as that. When I started to notice that, I started to get concerned for, one, my safety, because, walking up to an individual who's not in their right mind or just in a dark place and saying, hey, I'm here to help you, blah, 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 not the safest thing. I had no problem walking up to people, not anyone for that matter, but I'm not going to put my life in jeopardy or trigger them and have them, do something with some tourists that were around them and such. And just for a sense of dignity, I didn't want to show people at their absolute lowest, like on the ground, sleeping on a curb and stuff like that. Yes, I've done it in the past, but it just became a little bit not even a little bit, a lot unsafe to walk up and try to help some of these people. Some of them do not want help, unfortunately. A lot of the people, as you saw in some of the previous videos, they were so grateful, so thankful, and they were awesome. And I just became the guy down here for about a year that was out helping people, and it was totally appreciated for the most part. However, I will say two things about appreciation. One, I got contacted by a major property here in town, not going to tell you which one, and they went ahead and told me it's a bad look. It's a bad look that I think, I might have helped some people that were on their property. It wasn't an entire organization. It was just one specific person from one specific property that just told me, hey, Bror Fredrik, that's a bad look. You should be playing that down. This isn't the type of attention the city needs. And I was like, go F yourself. You know me. I'm just like, go freaking F yourself. Okay, and number two, I did contact some of the other people that were, that supposedly, or maybe they do, help homeless and less fortunate people in town to see if we can get some, alliances going and things like that. No, that didn't work out. In fact, I was even told, one, check this out, by the news, by a news company that was considering, by a news station here in town that was considering doing a story, which I was like, whoa, this is awesome. This will bring attention and I can really, really, really help some people. No, they were just like, no, we don't think, after much reflection, we don't think you should really be doing that. We think you should leave that to the professionals. Go F yourself, too. And that's why I got on the bad side of the news here in town. Because they can go absolutely F themselves, you know? It's a bad look, I was told, and leave it to the professionals. Well, I don't see the professionals out here helping people, you know, with boots on the ground like I am. And even if they are, 100% of what people are donating are not getting to them, you know, because they have bureaucracy and all the rest of this crap. So, yeah, that pissed me off. Anyway, back to the story. So, what happened after the whatever department, the police, whoever it was, pushed people off the strip? Well, they pushed them into the local neighborhoods, and that became a situation that still exists now. Now, I live in what I'd consider a decent neighborhood, and the homeless people are everywhere. They are on street corners, they are in every alcove, and it just everywhere. I'm not, yeah, I could complain just for the safety aspect of it, but it is, it's a bad situation. You cannot go into a 7-Eleven or some bodega here in town without, you know, being in some cases, I would call it, confronted by, you know, certain people. And it's just bad. It's everywhere. Every Walmart, every bodega, every gas station, everywhere. And I'm not just talking the decent or halfway decent neighborhoods. I'm talking, you know, in Summerlin. I'm talking all over town. That's where these people migrated to, and they are doing absolutely nothing about it. But Bror Fredrik is still doing something about it. So this is going to answer the question, is it still a program? Yes, it is. I drive around with these and other things like this. I call them, what do we got now? I call them dignity bags. You know, my effort to give people back their dignity. In that bag is soap, deodorant, shampoo, pair of socks, t-shirt, whatever, you know. I just make up these bags and I give them out whenever I go, where I keep at least 10 in the car at all times. And sometimes that's not even enough. If I stop at Wally's World to go pick something up, there's people in the parking lot. I'm like, here you go. If I go to buy a gallon of milk at 2 a.m. at my neighborhood bodega, trust me, there's going to be people looking for handouts. Most of the time, of course, they want money. I do not give out cash. Number one, that's dangerous. Number two, I think some of these people would prefer to spend it on something illicit rather than, you know, their own, how would I say, health care or whatnot, or personal hygiene care or whatever the case may be. So no cash. And I don't want to be known as a guy who carries around, you know, amongst the community of less fortunate, the guy who carries around cash to hand out. That would put me in a unsafe situation. So I still do it. I still do it almost daily. If I'm out of the house, if I'm not home for the entire day, I take some with me, or they're in the trunk, and then I put them in the seat. I don't want to go in the trunk and all that other stuff. They're right here. They're in my passenger seat, a bunch of them, and I'm just always ready to try to help these people. So yeah, helping people on the strip, again, you don't see them quite as much. And the ones that you see are maybe incognito to a certain degree, and not the, how would I say, a lot of them are not the safest people to be around. Hence, I don't go out there. I don't want to have an incident on a live stream of what happened with Bror Fredrik trying to give a pair of socks to, you know, someone who's not quite stable. I don't want to bring that level of attention, and I don't want to bring that level unsafeness, and I don't want to send that as a message saying, well, if I could do it, you can do it. I'm a different kind of individual. I'm wired a little different, so I don't have problems dealing with situations like that. If you're coming to town and you want to do something similar, I don't know if I'd recommend that. Depends how, willing you are to, how would I say, defend yourself, perhaps. I don't have a problem with that. What is going on with this traffic? We've been sitting on this block. All right, I guess it's starting, this freaking F1 deal. Anyway, you get my drift. So that answers the question. I am still doing help the homeless. That is a given. It's just part of my life. It's not even something official. It never was official. It's not trademarked or anything. I just wanted to sort of inspire other people to do it, not just in Vegas, but in their own communities as well. And I know a lot of you do, which is awesome. Absolutely freaking awesome. Each one reach one. If we could all as a community reach one individual, I'm not just saying, the less fortunate, the homeless, but just in general, what a world this would be. What a change we could make if each one would reach one. If we could just help our fellow man. Believe it or not, my phone just overheated that I'm doing the recording with, even though it's 61 degrees outside, just sitting in that sun blazing on the back of the phone. Anyway, like I was saying, each one reach one. I hope I have served as some inspiration for everyone to go out there and help their fellow man. Stop overlooking people in need. You are probably in need. We'll all maybe be in need one day. And even if you're not, we're all sharing the same planet here. So it kind of behooves us. We have to help people. That's all I got to say about that. And if I serve to inspire anyone, I'm humbled by that. I wouldn't say proud of that, but maybe proud too, but I am humbled by that. Now, am I still continuing with the Help the Homeless program? I'll answer that too. The resounding yes, obviously. I'm still doing it. I'm going to probably end up giving stuff out today. No ifs, ands, or buts. I know I'm going to end up doing that because I have more stops to make. So I will indeed be doing that. Let me lower this blower for you a little bit. It's a little obnoxious. All right, that's better. Okay, so again, it's nothing. What the heck is that crane doing up there? Anyway, like I was saying, I'm still doing it. And if you would still like to participate, I don't want people to think that, the show's over, it's done, we've helped all the homeless. We have not. Now, will I continue to record myself helping homeless? Not off the strip per se, because again, it was never about me and my claim to fame. I was just hoping other people, especially other YouTubers, got on board, and I don't think they ever did. That was just his thing. Okay, whatever, but you can't expect things from people. But what I will say is, should you want to help me help the homeless, yes, it is still an active endeavor of mine. I got a mailing address below if you want to send some goods. Now, if you do want to send some goods to allow me to distribute for you here in probably one of your most favorite cities on the planet, there is that mailing address. And what I would ask is the most important thing, believe it or not, the most number one asked for item here in Las Vegas, and I'm sure the entire less fortunate and homeless community, is socks. So if you want to send socks, and we got the winter coming, maybe, those cheap gloves and things like that. Okay, you get it. If you would like to contribute financially, that's okay too. I have Cash App, and just make sure you put in the Cash App that this is to help the homeless. Otherwise, I will assume it is for me. Not that that's a bad thing, but this is just a call out, and it's not something you have to do or need to do. It's got to be something you want to do, but I am still out doing it, and I hope that answered that question, which was, hey, Bror Fredrik, whatever happened, like it was past tense to the Help the Homeless program. It's not past tense. It never will be. I will be doing this for the rest of my life And I hope you commit to helping your fellow human beings for the rest of your life too. It brings joy. Yes, it brings some sadness, but the joy, and it's just your responsibility as a citizen of this freaking planet to help those who are unable, or I don't even know how to say it, or unwilling to help themselves. Just don't put yourself in danger to do it. And I love you guys, and I love everyone who has supported in the past. And this is not a call for support at all, but you know, if you want to, I just told you how, and I love you guys. So with the holiday seasons coming up, I'm going to invite everyone to like, share, subscribe, and click on all those buttons down there. I got something for everyone. And yeah, I hope everyone is just doing absolutely wonderful. And don't forget to check out my streaming platform, brorfredrik.com, where I can talk about a lot of stuff that we cannot talk about here, obviously. And I'd appreciate the support over there too. And again, I love you guys. Looking forward to the next one. So hit the bell, do all the stuff. I'm producing videos almost daily. Fridays and Saturdays, I do a live stream. So if you're digging that, go check me out over there. And on that note, Bror Fredrik out.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.